the history of street gangs from the 19th century to today. Welcome back to Threads and Tunes, your go-to channel for exploring the rich tapestry of culture and history. Today we're diving into a fascinating and complex topic, the history of street gangs. From their origins in the 19th century to their evolution in modern society, we will uncover how these groups have shaped and reflected the communities they emerge from. Street gangs have been a part of urban life for centuries, often arising in response to social and economic challenges. In the 19th century, industrialization transformed cities. As people flocked to urban areas in search of work, they often found themselves in overcrowded and impoverished neighborhoods. It was in these tough environments that the first street gangs began to form. These groups were often made up of young men seeking protection, a sense of belonging, and a way to assert their identity in a rapidly changing world. During this time, gangs were not just about violence, they were also a means of community organization. Groups like the Bowery Boys in New York City emerged, reflecting the interests and struggles of their members. They often clashed with rival gangs like the Dead Rabbits over territory and influence. These conflicts were not only physical but also cultural, representing the diverse backgrounds of immigrants and native-born citizens. As we moved into the early 20th century, the rise of organized crime began to intertwine with street gangs. The Prohibition era created a lucrative market for illegal alcohol, and gangs capitalized on this opportunity. They began to operate more like businesses, establishing territories and engaging in criminal enterprises. Notable figures like Al Capone and his Chicago outfit showcased how street gangs could evolve into powerful syndicates. The mid-20th century saw a shift in the dynamics of street gangs. The civil rights movement brought attention to social injustices, and many young people began to organize for change. This period saw the rise of groups like the Black Panthers and the Young Lords, which, although not traditional gangs, shared similar elements of community organization and resistance. These groups focused on social issues and empowerment, showing that the narrative of gangs could extend beyond violence and crime. However, as society entered the late 20th century, street gangs began to take on a darker reputation. The crack epidemic of the 1980s led to an increase in gang violence, particularly in urban areas. Gangs like the Crips and Bloods in Los Angeles became infamous for their violent turf wars and drug trafficking. Media coverage often sensationalized these conflicts, contributing to the public's fear and misunderstanding of the realities of gang life. Today, street gangs continue to exist, but their forms and functions have evolved. Many gangs now engage in various activities, from drug trafficking to human trafficking, and some have even adapted to the digital age, utilizing social media for recruitment and communication. However, it is essential to recognize that not all gangs are violent. Many focus on community support and identity. In recent years, there has been a growing movement toward gang prevention and intervention. Community organizations are working to address the root causes of gang involvement, such as poverty and lack of opportunity. Programs aimed at providing education, job training, and mentorship are helping to steer young people away from gangs and towards more positive paths. As we reflect on the history of street gangs, we see a complex narrative woven through struggles for identity, community, and survival. From the 19th century to today, gangs have adapted to the changing social landscape, mirroring the challenges and aspirations of the people involved. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of street gangs. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Threads and Tunes for more engaging content. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic in the comments below. Until next time, keep exploring the threads of history and the tunes that shape our world.